Good job, Jack.
I could not find mine in time. I was like, fuck.
We'll take the stationary fan all day.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take it. But oh no, don't hurt yourself for the fan, Jack.
I already hurt myself. It just was the repeat.
Okay, fine. Hello, racers, and welcome to the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. I am doing something a little crazy. Something I don't do very often anymore. I'm drinking a beer.
Oh.
My roommate brought home this prickly pear ale from one of our local breweries. Shout out to Grand Canyon Brewing Company. And I've had it, and there were like 3 in the fridge, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna have one.
Well, good on you.
It's so good. Oh, it's so good.
That is the gayest beer I've ever seen. Prickly pear beer.
It really kind of is. And
but I love that for you. And the can is so pretty.
The can is so pretty.
It's so pretty.
It's gorgeous.
Plus, and don't come for me. Look, don't come for me because I said that was the gayest beer I've ever seen. People.
Well, it's in a household of gays. Like
I know. Sure. So, but anyway, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh, no. It's just lovely.
That's all. Lovely. Oh, lovely. And hello. I am Lana, your resident evil diva. Some people might think I'm evil because I just said Logan had the gayest beer, but it's okay.
We respect Lana and all of her opinions here on this podcast. Don't come for her.
I mean it in the most beautiful way because
she's an ally.
Period. I love Logan.
Lana, say ally.
I'm an ally.
Her.
Thank God.
But it would suck if I wasn't an ally, wouldn't it?
You know, all this time.
This is how we find out.
This is after all this time, years of knowing you, bringing you into watching Drag Race. You know, it would be the shock of the millennia.
Yeah, it would be gross. But
if you turned out to be homophobic.
Like, you know, I don't like. No, I'm not even gonna say it because then somebody go cut that one.
I know.
I'll clip that one thing of me saying something, and then they'll be like, "She."
Anyway, who are you? Who are you? What are you drinking?
I'm Lana, your resident evil diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea, and I am an ally. Her, and if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. I am drinking Orange Sunkist because I love Orange Sunkist. Who loves orange soda? Lana loves orange soda. I do. It's true. I'm not drinking it out of my cup mug, which is right here because
Jack has
finally. I have it back.
Yeah,
God, it took too long.
We love that for you. Jack is back with the mug. We all have the mug, and you know what? You can get you a mug too. But you don't only have to get a mug. We have other things at lanagcreations.etsy.com. And we do ship internationally and U.S. domestically. So I guess get you one. And I'm talking to you, all you Amazing Race fans all over the world. Get your cup merch because why not? Yeah. And I am an ally.
You're going to have to change your intro to Resident Evil Ally Diva. Like, that's what it's going to have to be at this point.
Oh, my God. And my name is Jack. I'm the resident college student, although maybe not for much longer.
Oh, are we graduating?
I'm finishing up my final semester of classes, and then I have one more after that, and then I'm done. So it's like right there.
You're at the precipice. You're right at the doorstep. We love that.
Eventually, I'll graduate.
Eventually.
It's on the plan. Just eventually.
Yeah. And you know, if I found out that I was going to be skydiving and then got on a completely different plane, I would have also been very, very confused. But
I guess we'll talk about it. Huh?
We sure will, because it is episode 10 of The Amazing Race. A wild and lovely episode of television. twists, turns,
Huh?
dives,
5-person foot race.
a 10-person foot race,
10-person foot race. Yeah.
5-team foot race,
Which
potentially
oh my
the
God.
closest finish we've maybe ever seen.
We've ever seen. It's crazy.
But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe because we're here almost every day of the week giving you almost everything reality TV. And if you are a fan of drag, make sure to go check out our main channel, The Cut Pod, for almost all things drag. And now, if you are a fan of Eurovision, make sure to go check out The Cup ESC for almost everything Eurovision Song Contest. Because that's already started. And it's only December. Anyway, episode 10. We have 5 teams left. We are still in Slovenia, but not for long, because we are traveling to Sweden. To the Sverige. I know how to say Sweden in Swedish.
We love that. We love that.
I feel like it's been a while. I feel like it's been a while since we've been to Sweden.
I can check these statistics.
I was going to say,
that.
Jack, if you can check that, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to Stockholm, Sweden, not just anywhere in Sweden. We're going to Stockholm, the capital city of Sweden, and it's beautiful there.
And while everybody's waiting for their flights, Todd and Ashley, because it tells you where you're going for, as soon as you get to Stockholm, Todd and Ashley are like, oh, let's just look it up just to see like where it is, just so we have an idea of like directions or whatever. And they find out that it is a skydiving airport, or a site specific for skydiving. And when I tell you, Ashley went through the 5 stages of grief in this one moment, just like, just all of it at once.
She was, I mean, I get it if you're scared of heights and skydiving and things of that nature. And then you're about to get on another plane to take you to a plane to get to the skydiving site. It's kind of like, oh no.
Me. Hello, hi.
Yeah.
That's me. Because I can barely get on a plane without a Dramamine. Let alone fucking go skydiving. No, thank you.
I'm okay.
If I had to do it for $1 million, I would do it, but I would be complaining the entire way up and then screaming the entire way down.
Yeah. So, on Sweden specifically, the last time we were here was 10 seasons ago in season 25.
I knew it had been a minute.
But there is actually a very interesting footnote.
Oh, wait. Does that mean it's time? Wait, where's my banner?
Oh my God, you'll get there.
Where's the banner? I can't find the banner.
Oh, I know exactly where it is.
I can't.
I know exactly where it is.
They're racing to it. They're racing. Come on.
I know where it is. Hold on. Here it
20
goes.
on Lana.
I found it. It's time.
There we go.
It's time for a Jack fact.
Woo.
I knew exactly what it was. It's in Survivor.
Oh yes, that'll do it. But it is time for a Jack fact.
Obviously, we still haven't fully recovered from COVID.
Yes.
This particular leg was we could have seen Sweden in season 33. But because of COVID, we never actually visited Sweden. And we're coming back 2 seasons later to do some of the same things, if I'm reading these facts correctly. So, we're basically kind of recycling a leg that was never used.
Oh, good. Okay.
I love that.
And that has been your Jack fact.
Woo!
But yes, so our teams land in Sweden. They're headed to the place with the long name where you do the skydiving. Not even going to try to say the words. Not even going to bother. So they all get there. Greg and John get there first. and run right past the numbers that you have to grab.
I was like, oh, no.
I loved this moment. I love when there's just like such an obvious thing in front of you and just teams go around it. I love
it. I hated it for them.
And they weren't the only ones.
No.
Because Todd and Ashley
and
went around. Rob and Corey went around.
You know who found it first? The Beards.
Joel and Garrett. And then Steve and Anna Lee. And they're kind of all waiting. And Greg and John run by. And I love that Joel and Garrett are like, this is a competition. So, like, I really want to tell you where it is. But, like, y'all are really competitive. So I'm not going to.
Nah.
I love it.
I was like, hey, that's honesty. And I appreciate the honesty. I'd rather you just be like, you know what, I will tell you, but I'm not. Instead of when I walk by, where is it? Oh no, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna tell you, it's a competition.
I don't know, with the clue in my hand. I don't know where it is. Like later when they're in the theater and they're like, Steve and Anna Lee were like, I don't know where it is. You're holding the clue, Anna Lee.
We're so deep in that I don't know anything.
Right.
No thought.
I've had amnesia for the last 10 minutes. The violin was just so pretty.
I don't know where oh, it's the she. I know. Well,
when everyone was like, oh, where is he? Where is he? How about where are they?
Who's the violinist? I wonder who they are.
It's a woman.
It's a woman.
Beautiful woman.
Beautiful woman playing beautiful music.
We'll talk more about her later because she's beautiful. But yes, so then they have to wait until 5 a.m. the next morning to go do their skydiving. Skydiving went pretty uneventful, with the exception of Ashley.
Jimmy Crickets.
Yeah.
And Steve had his moment as well. He was like, a lot of people had like Ashley was just like, I don't want to do. What was she? She was like,
Jiminy Crickets.
I was like, that's a great way to not curse.
Jiminy Crickets.
And then afterwards, she's like, it was so exhilarating. I would do it again. I'm like,
good for you. Okay. Honestly, good for you.
Great. Yeah, honestly.
Good for you.
I feel like sometimes you just have to just do it because as long as you keep saying, I can't. Then you get up and do it like, oh, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And it was actually kind of fun. So I would do it again. This time I will actually enjoy the ride. And not freak out the whole time. But yeah.
Yeah. So now we are getting on boats and we are headed to the island of Tinning. Again, sorry to the people of Sweden. I don't. But Joel and Garrett get there first, obviously, because they were the first out of the skydiving. And we get our roadblock. Who wants to party?
Party.
Yay.
Woo. Party.
Woo.
And we're celebrating Midsummer. How beautiful. How not at all related to a horror movie.
Yeah.
At all.
Midsummer is just completely ruined Midsummer for any English audience. Yeah. But you know what? They were going to dance around a pole. So Yay.
I've never celebrated Midsummers. I don't even know what it is.
It's a midsummer celebration that is, I think, very popular in Sweden and potentially other Scandinavian countries.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never.
It's just like I think it's the celebration of like the midsummer harvest. I think is the origin of it. Don't quote me on that, but
I mean, I've only heard like somebody Midsummer Night's Dream, but I've never knew what Midsummer's was. But
Lana, you're gonna have to get the banner up again.
Oh, we're gonna get another check.
It is once again time for a Jack Fact.
Is it?
I thought you were looking it up.
No, I just had someone yell at me, but I am now going to look up Midsummer.
I fully thought you were looking it up. Sorry, Jack.
Not
I threw you under the bus so hard there.
Okay.
Oh no, I feel so bad.
I have the information now pulled up.
Okay, thank you.
So, Midsummer is a celebration of the season of summer held around the summer solstice with pagan pre-Christian roots. Celebrated in Europe and Austria, Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada. It's in a lot of different places in a lot of different ways. I think one of the only major places it really isn't is the U.S. Kinda.
We're so American.
It's weird. It's weird. For example, one of the only interesting ones that I can immediately see from the U.S. is there is a midnight sun game where a regulation game of baseball is played at 10:30 p.m. local time through midnight with zero artificial lighting. It is entirely sun because it is nice and light out. But that's about Alaska instead of Sweden. So let's get back to Sweden.
And that's been another Jack fact, even though I made them do it. But
yeah.
So this roadblock, you have to complete a flower wreath and then attach it to a maypole and dance around the maypole. Now, this seemed like a very simple roadblock, if you ask me. And Rob and Corey decide they're gonna just use their express pass.
We're done.
We're the last thing here. We're gonna use it.
Which I guess.
I don't know that arts and crafts are necessarily their forte either. So, like, I do get it.
But also we kind of figured out that the arts and crafts part wasn't as bad because all you needed to do was tie it around. Like there wasn't a lot of precision. All it needed to do was look good.
And have the right amount of flowers on it.
And have the right amount of flowers. That part was important. Everything else, as long as it looked fine, go for it.
Was this the easiest roadblock in the history of the Amazing Race?
It looked very easy. I was like, even I could do this. And I
was like, I could do this very easily.
I was like, I suck at arts and crafts. I can wrap some leaves around a wreath and then make sure the flower count is right. Like, okay, 7 yellow flowers, 7 purple flowers,
literally,
and 2 big ones. Like, that was it. What was the line? I would not have used my for that.
I wouldn't have either, but they sure did. So Rob and Corey are now out first. They're headed to the Royal Dramatic Theater because they decided not to do arts and crafts.
Yeah.
But then I get to the theater and they can't find the main entrance. Although they went into the main entrance.
And then walked out. Of
the main entrance and started walking around the building.
Just to come back to the main entrance.
To see Annalie and Steve already having their clue.
She slayed this roadblock. She said, I'm going to get this done in 5 minutes. We're done. Flower, flower, flower. Check. Maypole dance. Done. Boom, boat. Like.
So you use your express pass to still not be in first place.
To still be in second place. Express pass usage on this season has not been, the strongest.
Helped no one.
Yeah. But yes, so Steve and Annalie find the gorgeous, lovely woman playing the violin first. I mean, for them, I'm thankful that Rob and Corey were there when they were there, because then they have to travel by subway to this station, and they almost get on a bus.
Yeah.
And I love Annalie fully in this moment going, this isn't a subway, while standing on a bus.
I was like,
so
I know you're from Texas, but like...
You ain't seen a subway before in a movie or a TV show. You ain't seen nothing where they had to jump on the subway. It's not a bus.
So the word sub is pretty important there. That means lower. A lower way. I'm pretty sure bus doesn't count.
Whoa.
I could be wrong though.
Unless
there is
the
a
bus
combination
was
of
traveling in caves the whole time.
Yeah.
But no, I was like, oh my God. I mean, I get it. Y'all they from Texas. They might not have never actually been on a subway before. But not being on one and then not ever seeing one are two different things. I know you watch movies. I know you watch television where a subway was used because we've seen lots of movies that are based in New York City. We've seen lots of movies that are based in London. We've seen lots of movies that are based in LA where people get on the subway. They have the whole thing about going down on the subway. So I'm like, come on. Okay. But yeah, if it wasn't for Rob and Corey, they would have been on a bus. And I kind of wish they would have been on that bus and rode around for a while so I can see how they react when they realize they're not on a subway. But that's just me personally.
Yeah. So it ends up being, so while this is happening, everybody else is still at the roadblock. But Greg finishes the wreath pretty quickly. So now they're getting back in the race. And then Joel and Garrett and Todd and Ashley kind of complete it in a similar time frame. So they're all going. Meanwhile, Stephen, Annalee, and Rob and Corey get to the clue box, and we have a detour: sort or serve. You gotta sort some trash that has been imported into Sweden because apparently they are so eco-friendly that they have to import trash.
Because they already recycle all of their trash.
Good
on them.
For them.
I love it. Or serve, where you are working as a server and a runner to deliver 3 courses from a menu based only on memory.
And the menu's in French.
And the menu's in French. To nobody's surprise whatsoever, only Greg and John pick serve and everybody else picks sort. What would y'all do?
I probably would pick serve because I've been a server before.
I also would have picked serve because I also was a server.
And I know how to remember the order in the table round thing. Yeah.
Serve doesn't sound as bad. I'm not sure that on the clues specifically they were told the menu was in French. But even if it isn't in French, or like if it's in complete scrambled letters, you can always just spell what a dish is. And they did the exact right strategy where they said, let's choose the 1 or 2 words that make this dish unique. And go.
Well, and thankfully for John, he speaks French and has lived in France. So,
because of course they have.
Of course they have.
So he is speeding through this.
He was like, oh, Potter, okay. Oh, Duval, okay. I was like, you work.
You better work.
Work.
But yeah, so they substantially catch up. Robin, Corey, and Steve and Annalee still make it out of their part of the detour first. They end up working together basically for the rest of the leg, for the most part. So we're now traveling to a place to get their clue to go to the pit stop. And this is where things get a little wild. So by this time,
oh my God,
by the time that Rob and Corey, Steve and Annalee, and Greg and John get to the place to get the clue to go to the pit stop, Joel and Garrett have completed their detour. They did sort. Todd and Ashley arrive at sort. And now these teams have to travel by subway again. The subway really throwing off everybody in this episode. Everyone is getting wrong directions. Everyone is getting wrong directions. And I'm just sitting here like, can someone with a phone, can we Google?
Right. Why
With
we keep
Google Maps?
Why
Why are we relying on information?
This way. Right down there. Up the hill. Down that way. Could we get a map? So I know exactly where I'm going. How many kilometers do I need to go? How many feet do I need to go? How long is it going to take me from this spot here to get to that train station so I can catch that subway? Like everybody's like, oh, you just run down that road, go up that hill, make a right, go under that bridge. I'm like, what?
Pass the bridge troll. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Like,
pay them $200 in widgets. I don't know.
I'm like,
rappel down the building over
Right.
there. Like,
cross
figure
the
out
river.
a math problem with that one currency we had it like 4 or 5 legs ago.
That's what I said.
Wittens.
Get some.
Figure out a math problem to figure out how many Wittens you need to give the guard to then rappel down the castle and then get on the subway.
It was so ridiculous. It was,
And then by this time, Joel and Garrett have caught up. They got good directions. And then Todd and Ashley are suddenly there. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Steve, Annalee, Greg and John, and Corey and Rob are like running around in circles in Stockholm, Sweden. We don't know where they are. They just going under bridges. They going up hills. They go on this. Then they find a whole nother train station that ain't even open. And they're like, how did we get here? And I'm like, because you just listen to random people tell you to run 10 miles and you run it. Like, no double checking anything. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. So the three of them are like 3 blind mice. Just the blind lead the blind. Nobody knows where they're going. They just following. They say go that way. The whole pack just take off that way. You know who I felt bad for? Poor Steve. Poor Steve. That man is like, I am running back and forth. And I got my daughter, this girl just yelling at me, come down.
Oh no.
I'm like, this man has been running for miles in this last 10 minutes. And you just like, come down. Like, he's like, heart attack. Relax.
Okay, but also you're in a race for $1 million and you know that everyone is caught up. So like, I got it. I definitely got it. I felt for Annalee here where she was just like, Dad, this is literally a race for $1 million. Like, this is, when she goes, this is what we trained for. I was like, oh, Steve, this is what you trained for? Steve. And I get that he probably wasn't planning on running multiple miles for like 30 minutes straight, but still.
And that heart, if it goes out, $1 million to pay for it. You'll be fine. Just move on. Definitely, that's how it works.
That's how she felt it worked, because honestly, I was like, if you don't stop yelling at that man and stop it, just accept what happens. Like, because we know in the Amazing Race, it ain't over until Phil says over. And him running that last few minutes or whatever, it wasn't gonna change. If it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it did. I get it. It's $1 million. You got this far. My daddy's health is way more important than $1 million. I'm just not going to let my daddy run into a heart attack for $1 million. I'm just not going to do that. I'm like, let's get it. Go at your pace, but just keep moving. That's my thing. I'm like, if you just keep moving, I ain't going to keep yelling. What are we training for? What? I'm like, Daddy, come on. You good? Keep moving.
My favorite part of this whole thing is that every time you're yelling, your mic peaks, and it's just like my favorite thing in the whole world. I love it. Because we know you're screaming, and then we hear nothing. It's my favorite thing. Oh, now we can't hear you at all.
Turn it all the way down.
Oh, good.
But you see the passion.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what matters.
And that's what matters.
I would never yell at you like that, Lana, but I would be like, Lana, Lana. It wouldn't be yelling. I definitely would never do that to you, but I would go, Lana, with increasing pitch in my voice.
I'm like, I'm running.
And urgency. And be like,
I'm
Lana,
like,
you're
I'm
doing
running.
great. But like,
I'm running.
Lana, you're doing great.
This is what I trained for. I'm running.
Lana, you're doing great.
Stop yelling at me.
I'm not yelling. I'm just speaking in a very high-pitched voice, which I already do anyway. But
as long as you keep running, that's all that matters to me.
But the shock of the leg for everyone, including team number one, is that Joel and Garrett win their first leg out of absolute happenstance.
I was like, I can't wait to see this moment. I was like, I cannot wait to see this moment when they.
I was like, oh yay! They finally did it.
I said, but they left and they knew they were like third, fourth. They knew
they were like, oh, we're in a fight for fourth now. It's us or Todd and Ashley.
So we just go. They were like, okay, so we just go get our fourth place as long as we're in the race.
Exactly.
They were at. They were like, as long as we in the race, we're good. Boy, they got to that match. It was like, Joel and Garrett, you are team number one. The look on their face was sheer shock. And I was like, I'm happy for them. But I understand that moment. I would have been like, wait, what? Yeah. How did this even happen? It's crazy.
And they win reward points to make them eligible to go to the Galapagos Islands. And that's lovely.
That's lovely. They get to go snorkeling and hiking and snorkeling again.
Turtles.
Volcanoes.
And then it's boom, boom, boom. Everybody else comes in right after. Greg and John end up getting their second, which tracks, given, their history.
They can outrun everybody.
Rob and Corey end up getting their third. And after incessant yelling and pleading by Annalie.
Come on, Dad! 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 This is what we trained for. Dad! I was like,
Steve and Annalie do make it to the mat fourth. Steve looks like he just ran a marathon.
And he probably feels it.
His face is so red.
It's red. It's not even pink. It's red.
It's red. That man was.
The man is actively dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like
actively right before our eyes. He was like, ugh. I was like, oh, poor Steve.
I know.
But this is what you trained for.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that one mistake early on, running past that board to get your skydiving number, really meant the end for Todd and Ashley.
Somehow.
Yeah.
See,
here's my thing. I really like Todd. Yeah. Even when I didn't like Ashley sometimes, I really like Todd. I enjoyed Todd this entire race because I thought he was just somebody who was just looked at the brighter side of life. He never got too frustrated and he was just like, okay, well, we just got to do it. We got to suck it up. We just got to do it. And she, this episode, she kind of got on my nerves, but I understood why she was down and why she felt defeated because they really were defeated and they were last and they just couldn't catch up. But he was kind of like, hey, if this is it for us, we need to enjoy our time here. This race is more than money. This race gave us a lot and da da da. And she was like, that's what losers say. I was like, so you
just the worst possible answer to that entire response.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they were so great. And then the last 2 or 3 legs, the attitude just soured. And I'm pretty sure that's across almost every team. The attitude just soured at some point during leg 8 or 9. I don't know what happened. Did they all get food poisoning or something? Like the
maybe.
But This leads us into a really interesting scenario for the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
The only team who has yet to win a leg is Rob and Corey.
That's so surprising to me.
But they've only not been in the top 3 4 times. I mean, Greg and John, for the past 6 legs, they haven't been out of the top 2.
No.
Yeah.
So
you want to know what's the craziest part of all this? They're going to all leave so very close together for this last leg of the race.
Yeah.
They're going to be with each other the entire time.
Second, third, and fourth are literally just going to all rip their clues at the same time. Basically.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, this is going to be one crazy.
What, like probably a 10-minute advantage at most?
Maybe.
And then everyone else gets like 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Like, if not literally just synchronized clue rips.
That's so insanely crazy. And to be the top 4, somebody is one of them winning. The Amazing
I'm pretty
Race.
sure I know who's winning. Just based off track records.
I feel like track record says one thing, but if we see with one mistake, which this team did a mistake today, they could have been in first place the entire time if they didn't make that one mistake.
I'm going to make a very confident statement here and say I do think the winners of this season are going to be an all-male team.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, that's a pretty confident bet. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, and the difficulty is, like, I think Steve and Anna Lee would be lovely winners, but with the amount of running that we know the final leg gets, I just don't know if Steve has the stamina, unfortunately.
Exactly.
And I worry about Rob as well, honestly. I would like to see, and that's no shade to either one of them. They both have been killing it the entire race. But that last leg is a lot of running. But it's also a lot of puzzles and memory.
Yes.
And we know Rob and Steve both to be very good with memory. So
and we do know that, because like I would be a little worried for Joel and Garrett, but we do know Joel and Garrett has a whole notebook where they've been studying and keeping up with all the things that they've been going through, what they've seen. And so that could be something. We also know that John and Greg and John, they're so smart when it comes to analyzing things, remembering things, breaking things down in a way that it works for them. I think this is going to be a very competitive Final Four.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a good one. I'm very excited about the end of this race, even though I hate that it's the end of this race, because I really love Amazing Race and I hate that everything ends, but it's coming back quicker than we
was going to say, we only have to wait like 3 months.
So I'm not that mad.
So,
but
go
ahead.
I will say that it's going to be interesting seeing what they do for the final leg, because all of the legs this season have essentially been elongated. They've thrown in like 1 or 2 extra route infos. So I'm curious if that final task that they normally do, where it's like, say all the countries' flags, or put it in this particular order. I think there may be 2 of those tasks this season. Like I'd make a fair bet to say that a lot of this final leg, because I mean, surprise, we're going back to the US for the final. Like normal. I don't think we've ever left the US for the final. But,
No.
Yeah, I could easily see them doing a lot of weird things with this final leg.
So do you think we're going to lose somebody first and then go into the final leg at 3 so we can have the top 3? So we're going to have a first part of the leg happen. Somebody's going to get eliminated, and then the leg, it's like a mini mega leg.
Well, we're going to Dublin next week.
Dublin next week, and then from Dublin to the
Yeah,
US.
it'll be a traditional final three,
Uh-huh.
is what it seems like.
Uh-huh.
And just as one more little thing, one of the twists from this season may be coming back in the last leg. In this upcoming leg.
A U-turn? Oh,
At final four?
that's sick.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
death sentence.
Seemingly.
That's sick.
That's a
And
death
I feel bad for Greg and John because they will be coming for them.
They will
Greg
be
and John are going to be thrown in the bus.
They better
Like,
hurry
it's
up.
gonna be
They need to
bad.
get to that U-turn first, and maybe it's not like everybody has to vote. Maybe it's like a regular U-turn.
It seems like it may be a vote, but
Ooh, Greg and John.
it's
Greg and
uncertain.
Bye,
We'll
Greg and
figure it
John.
out.
If that's the case,
And there's a one more important note here that is a final Jack fact for the episode. So if you want to throw it up,
sure, why not?
Jack fact.
if Steven and Lee are eliminated next episode, this would be the first time in Amazing Race history to have a final three team that is final three that is entirely male. There
Oh,
are no
really?
women. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it makes sense logistically because there are probably like 3-ish of each potential team each season. So to have only one specific type of group make the final is a pretty rare thing.
That's crazy.
I would have thought it would have happened by now.
I mean, usually we always have a male-female team, and maybe once in a while a two female team. But that's interesting that we've never had 3 all-male teams before. That's very interesting, but I love that for that.
Yeah.
I mean, first time for everything. I'm not mad at any of these teams because I think all of these teams ate up this whole competition. So all of them are deserving. And so any of these teams winning, I would be okay with them winning, honestly.
Yeah. And with that, we are going to get out of here. But we will be back next week. Same time, same place. Probably some permutation of the 3 of us to talk about The Amazing Race, the penultimate episode of season 35. In the meantime, make sure to subscribe. We do really appreciate your support. So thank you so much for that. Hit all the buttons, do the things and stuff and things. You can follow our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You could also go follow the 3 of us at the links in the description below. And go subscribe to our other 2 channels because we do other things over there. And you can go get your merch, including but not limited to the cup mug, available down there as well. So with all that being said, cheers.
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 Bye-bye.
Do.